Yeah. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
I am State Senator Mike Skindo. I have with me a co-plaintiff, former State Representative Dennis Murray, as well as the Executive Director for ProgressOhio. And we have a lead counsel in oral argument here today, Maurice Thompson from the 1851 Constitutional Law Center. This case is about a public right to keep check on what the General Assembly is doing in enacting certain types of legislation. And I think the most visible question that was posed in the courtroom today was that posed by Justice Paul Pfeiffer, who said, did the General Assembly in this particular legislation build a wall with the courthouse behind that wall and then make it difficult to find the door? And that's exactly what the legislature did, so that the constitutionality of JobsOhio could not be challenged. With that, I'd like to call upon Maurice Thompson.
Thanks. I'd be glad to answer any questions that any of you have about the litigation. I suppose the first thing I want to do is thank Senator Skindell, Representative Murray, and Brian Rothenberg from ProgressOhio for permitting us, through 1851, to argue the case. This isn't, even though we did it for free, I suppose we could thank each other afterwards, maybe if we win. But this is an issue that has been on our radar since at least 2008. There's been this serious glitch in Ohio law when it comes to these corporate welfare provisions in the Ohio Constitution. A lot of people don't realize how great the Ohio Constitution is at prohibiting handouts to private corporations purely for private interest. It happens to have amazing language, yet that language is worthless if it's not enforced in the courts, because the legislature, as we know, does not enforce it. So the real problem we have here is this collective action problem that I referenced in the action. The notion that this hurts all Ohioans equally. It may take $1 or $2 out of each of our pockets over the long run, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 100 over the long run, but it's not enough for any individual Ohioan to have a personal stake or to bring a claim, but it's certainly enough for those on the receiving end to go to the legislature and get those benefits from them and do whatever it takes to get those. So we have a serious disparity, and it's the average citizen that's harmed in their capacity as a citizen and as a taxpayer. So when it comes to Article 8, when it comes to Article 13, these anti-cronyism, anti-corporate welfare limitations, these prohibitions on special acts, it's imperative that the average citizen have standing because, frankly, in almost all of these cases, nobody else will. That means the legislature can legislate at will without any sort of check whatsoever. And we all know from elementary school, for God's sakes, that checks and balances means the judiciary reviews the constitutionality of the legislature's acts to prevent the rule of law from being dissipated and for the Constitution to mean something. Let's remember, the Constitution is a contract between the people and the government. And it's the people who are the real party in interest to enforce that contract. And that's what we're trying to do here today.